strands of brown fiber come together to form threads. Through the artisan's skilled hand stitching, they transform into the protective cloak of agricultural heritage, the straw raincoat. Perhaps the farmer's most trusted companion, offers excellent shelter from the rain, while leaving both hands free to work. On cold winter nights, draping the straw raincoat over the body provides a comforting warmth against the chill, though its design is simple. Crafting such a raincoat requires great care and effort. The raw material is the bark of the palm tree. When mature, the bark becomes fibrous and can be peeled away easily with a knife. Then it is brushed repeatedly on a 9-tooth rake, turning the bark into fine strands of fiber to make the fiber softer and more manageable. The artisan carefully sorts and organizes each strand by hand. One end of the spindle is weighted, enabling it to spin smoothly. Fibers twist together into thin threads, and by spinning 2 spindles at once, the fine threads are twisted into sturdy ropes, making them durable and strong. A straw raincoat is made of an upper jacket and a lower skirt. First, the round collar of the jacket is crafted. Several pieces of bark of the right size are fixed onto a palm fiber rope. Then the excess bark is trimmed away. Layer upon layer of bark creates excellent water resistance to keep the raincoat from shaking. The pre-made palm fiber rope is threaded through. A long iron needle passes through the dense fibers, pulling the rope tight to secure the edges. Then, the edges of the raincoat are wrapped and fastened in order. The summer raincoat is made similarly, each stitch reflecting the artisan's dedication. Therefore, when plastic rain gear became common, the straw raincoat, once inseparable from farming life for thousands of years, almost vanished overnight. Now, it is rarely seen except in some cultural heritage areas, and artisans skilled in its making are very few. Yet, as a symbol of China's farming civilization, the straw raincoat preserves the footsteps of human progress. The newly unearthed Qin terracotta warriors were once a scattered pile. Fragments lay haphazardly stacked, with not a single figure whole, vastly different from the majestic army we see today. To restore this fragmented historical treasure, to bring back the mighty Qin army, the restoration is an unprecedented challenge. First, the conditions are harsh. To avoid further damage from environmental changes, all repair work must be done on-site. In summer, the open shelter heats up past 40 degrees Celsius. The artisans work soaked in sweat, their clothes drying and wetting again, losing pounds of sweat each day. Buried for so long, the pottery and soil have nearly fused together. Artisans must remove soil without damaging the figures, a delicate balance requiring precision within millimeters. To prepare, they practice countless times with surgical scalpels on replica shards, tens of millions of cuts over 2 years, until their skill matches that of a surgeon. The third challenge is sorting the shards with no reference image. This is like searching for a needle in a haystack. A lucky discovery unlocked the clue. A fingerprint on a broken sword, as if 2 craftsmen from different eras silently communicated across time. Once sorted, assembly and repair begin. This often takes a long time, and each joint must be handled with care to preserve the warrior's story. The artisans keep detailed records, using hot melt glue to uncover hidden clues. The girl gently pokes the wool cat in her hands, her face calm and focused. Each pet she makes by needle felting brings tears of joy when returned to its owner. These pets are crafted by the girl, based on photos provided by owners, one needle at a time, from wool. Many of these pets have long since passed on, yet she uses her hands to help owners find comfort and peace. This kind-hearted girl is named Liang Xixi, a wool felting artisan. Some look adorably clumsy, others pose as if in a heartfelt performance because of her exceptional skill. Orders are now booked well into next year. Liang deeply understands the bond between pets and owners. Each pet has a touching story behind it. So before starting, she communicates closely with the owner, studying every detail in photos, aiming to perfectly recreate the pet so it may stay forever by the owner's side. The tools are simple. A needle and a sponge pad suffice. Yet the pet's spirit lies entirely in Liang's hands. First, she sets the proportions, then crafts the pet's basic outline. Detailing is key to making wool felt lifelike and convincing. Mixing in actual pet hair makes the creations even more vivid and true. One owner cried upon receiving Liang's wool pet, a companion of 10 years, now gone, but still treated as family. This wool pet became a continuation of that life, carrying the owner's heartfelt memories. A pen gently glides over the page. The paper moves gracefully with each stroke, silky smooth as the pages turn. A faint painting begins to emerge. This is known as dragon scale binding, celebrated as the most beautiful book binding in human history. It first appeared during the Tang Dynasty, once exclusively used within the imperial palace. Each page features text in the center, with painted leaves along the outer edges, which together form a complete artwork. Unfortunately, the technique was a palace secret, long lost to time, with only one surviving copy, now preserved in the Palace Museum. Cultural heritage inheritor Zhang Xiaodong visited many masters, studied countless ancient books, and after 13 years, brought the dragon scale binding technique back to life, elevating it to new heights. After testing countless samples across several rooms, tens of thousands of paper types, Zhang Xiaodong finally chose golden threaded silk pattern Zhuan paper. This paper is as thin as cicada wings, delicate as fine silk or cloth. To better showcase the colors on both sides, Zhang Xiaodong found inspiration in ancient texts, creatively introducing the idea of tongzi leaf. The real challenge lies in the binding process. A single diamond sutra has 217 pages. Each page must be pre-designed. Not only the text, but also the painting divided precisely into 217 parts. Only patience and determination help. There is no shortcut. Zhang Xiaodong continuously adjusted settings, even using his fingers to manually fine-tune fold positions, wearing down his fingerprints in the process. After adjustment, each sheet must be hand-bound, page by page. Any tiny flaw on a page could ruin the entire book. To best present the story, he innovatively combined dragon scale binding with sutra-style folding, creating the golden dragon binding. This includes over 200 illustrations by Qing Dynasty artist Sun Wen. Each fold represents a single chapter, and each chapter has a matching painting. This is the most authentic way to experience Dream of the Red Chamber. The whole project took 4 years to complete. Today, Zhang Xiaodong alone has revived our love for the beauty of physical books. If all textbooks look like this, who would dare to fall asleep in class? Football actually originated in China. As far back as the Spring and Autumn and Warring States periods, China already had a sport called Kuju, the ancestor of modern football. It reached its first peak during the Han Dynasty. As a nation built on military strength, the Han army used Kuju to enhance soldiers' fitness during rest. Kuju emphasized physical contests, allowing close combat and various tactics to kick the ball into goals. Scoring not only built strength, but also teamwork. At this time, Kuju diversified, featuring skillful performances and competitive team matches. Talented players in the population developed dazzling techniques, controlling the ball perfectly with all parts of the body without dropping it. Even young women confined indoors were captivated by Kuju, technically and skill-wise. Kuju far surpassed modern football. However, as fortunes declined, the Yuan dynasty's northern nomads conquered China. Skilled only in horseback combat, they suppressed Kuju, a trend lasting through later dynasties. Meanwhile, football spread to Europe, gradually evolving into the modern sport, now the world's most popular game. Yet China, the birthplace, has fallen to one of the weakest teams globally. This is not just unfortunate, it is deeply disappointing. Corruption runs rampant, management hollowed out, while players focus on personal gain and leisure, growing thicker-skinned against criticism. Is this how we honor our heritage? What more is there to say about Chinese football? If the pen could speak, it would have much to say. Brewing dried pu'er tea has been mentioned since Liu Yu's classic of tea. A good cup of dried pu'er tea has a bright red color, a rich aroma, and a smooth, lasting taste. Authentic dried tangerine peel imparts a unique, sweet aftertaste, winning over tea lovers nationwide and astonishing foreigners abroad. What was once discarded orange peel has been transformed by the Chinese into something magical. The small green tangerines used in dried pu'er tea must be harvested before the Mid-Autumn festival. After washing, they shine with a translucent green glow. Carefully, tools are used to open the peel, removing the inner pulp, while preserving the peel's integrity. The pu'er tea inside must be aged Yunnan ripe pu'er, at least 5 years old. Each step requires patience to fully release the pu'er aroma. Finally, the tea is roasted, allowing pu'er and tangerine to complement each other. Before dried pu'er tea hits the market each year, it must pass expert tasting. Tangerines picked in different seasons offer varying flavors. Only the highest quality dried pu'er tea can win the hearts of tea lovers.